Hey, Anthony,
Yeah.
what do you think about Trump saying that the use of Tylenol in pregnancy leads to autism?
Well, listen, RFK Jr. and the Trump administration have been shown to be anti-science for a long time now, right? They clearly have a crusade against vaccines, which is meant to appeal to a lot of the pseudo-religious and conspiracy nut jobs in MAGA that love to think that like the whole pharmaceutical industry is some giant conspiracy, right? And you couple that with some recent reports that, to an uneducated observer, might indicate that there is a link between Tylenol and autism. And now you have RFK Jr. and the Trump administration jumping on this as another crusade of theirs against science. Of course, what this is really going to do is end up hurting potentially millions of pregnant women who use Tylenol during pregnancy to deal with some of the side effects of pregnancy. Acetaminophen, to use the actual drug name, is one of the most studied drugs in existence. Which is not to say it's completely safe. Like, I think one thing a lot of people know about it is that there's a high chance of using of liver damage with misuse of Tylenol compared to some other painkillers. But the effects of Tylenol are well known and have been studied in millions of individuals. There are a couple recent studies, one of which I was just reading, that show some very minor causal links between Tylenol use during pregnancy and rates of autism. But very minor causal links are not causation or even really correlation, right? And these studies are not particularly well-run studies anyways. I mean, just reading the peer reviews of this particular study, there's a lot of assumptions that are being made by the authors and a lot of language that is more inflammatory in the study than it should be. For example, one big question in a study like this is whether, if there is indeed any type of link at all, is it the Tylenol that's causing the problem, or is it whatever the pregnant woman is taking the Tylenol for that is causing the problem, right? And more than that, it's not like this is one study. There have been numerous studies done on the effects of Tylenol on pregnant women, some of them on literally millions of people, and the vast majority of those studies show that there is no connection. So for the FDA, RFK Jr., and the Trump administration to jump on this so quickly with so little evidence and so much disagreement among the medical community is a sign to me that it just is, more nonsense for them to peddle to their base to kind of appease this conspiracy theory, anti-science part of their base that is, generally tends to be the most supportive of them, right? And like most of the Trump administration's policies, it's going to end up hurting thousands, if not, potentially millions of pregnant women over the course of the next few years if this advice is followed in the long term.
Do you think that beyond appeasing the base, there's a darker agenda here to control women's bodies and demonize autism?
Yeah, I mean, that's just Project 2025 at space, right? Like the Trump administration and Project 2025 are based on white supremacy Christian nationalism, right? And part of white supremacy Christian nationalism is the subjugation of women. We see that in how they're trying to shut down Planned Parenthood clinics. We see that in how there have been in their attempts to make abortion illegal, right? The fact that they can make pregnancy a little bit harder for women that are already in a very bad place, especially in red states, is I don't think any exception to that trend.
And what about these continued attacks on autism?
That's not particularly surprising to me either, right? I mean, we've talked about how the Trump administration is fascist and how fascism requires enemies to blame and persecute. Those with mental disorders, as much as you can call autism a disorder, when in fact it may just be a neurodivergence, literally, just a different form of brain functioning, are always targets in these type of things, right? We see the Trump administration go against trans people, go against a specific subset of race that represents a high proportion of immigrants in the US, and other groups of people that are very similar to the groups of people that the Nazis persecuted. It's an easy target for them. It's a vulnerable target for them, and a group of people that may have difficulty fighting back the rhetoric that's being thrown against them. So no surprise that they're going after the vulnerable with this too.